Okay, question. How does it feel to get chipped? And this is from an @Scott_Pollock12 from Instagram. Rings a bell. Don't remember that name though. How does it feel to get chipped? Goal's a goal. You don't want to concede goals. You don't want to get scored on. So, I mean, chipping, it only really has happened recently in Panenka penalties, little dink down the middle, where as a keeper you go one way or the other. Often you pick a side, or you try and read what whoever's the penalty takers doing from either their body position or their run up. You try and read something before you choose left and right. And when it goes down the middle, a lot of the time there's not a lot can be done about it. It's one of the better penalties, I think, if you've got the kahunas to do it. And Scott Pollock has definitely got the kahunas to do it. Unfortunately, it's just happened to me a few times. In terms of in a game, how does it feel to get chipped? Not great. But it's always good then to have a look at your positioning afterwards, see how far off your line you actually were. I used to get chipped a lot as a kid when I was growing up, because I think my positioning wasn't right. I was too high. Wanted to play that sweeper keeper, go get involved. A little bit too high. Ball then gets over the top of you. But overall, how does it feel to get chipped? You don't want to get scored on in any particular way. So chip, strike top corner, strike bottom corner, however it goes in. You don't want to let those in. Okay, so Beam Munro 2004 over Instagram asks, who will win the league title this year? Well, if you're talking about the Premier League, big fan of Pep Guardiola. I called him for the Premier League last year. It was obviously wrong. But this year, I mean, they're absolutely dominant, aren't they? What are they now? 12, 15 points clear, something like that. They will have a blip, no doubt, sometime in the season. They won't win all 4 trophies, but however, they will win the league title. In terms of the Championship, fingers crossed it's Wolves. And then Wolves go up into the Premier League and we can see what the big boy league is all about. So yeah, Man City, Wolves. Who talks the most at hashtag? Sebi Boy likes to talk. He's always got something to say about himself, but also Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison has always got something to say. Always. I'll just leave it there. I think out of the two of them, Jack Harrison. Rusty Walsh 51. What's your relationship like with Jaco and Ollie? I think first and foremost, I think all three of us want the best for hashtag. So yeah, but also within that, there's only one goalkeeper who can play, and now there's me, Jaco, Ollie, 3 of us competing for one particular place, one shirt. So competitive, I think you know, we all want to play, but yeah, we all want the best for hashtag. It's a bit of an odd one really, because I didn't know Jaco or Ollie previously. So you're trying to form a relationship, you're trying to, you know, get to know people, as you would with all teammates, but then you don't actually get the opportunity to do that, because if I'm playing, then Jaco's not there and Ollie's not there. Similarly, if Jaco's playing, then me and Ollie aren't there. So we don't actually spend a lot of time in each other's company. It's not like with the rest of the team who are playing that you then play with and you see. And we don't train a lot. So we don't really have a lot of time. It's not like a normal club where you'd have 3 keepers on a day-to-day basis who train together, who'd be in each other's pockets. So we don't actually see each other as much as really I think we should. Maybe we should start training together. Maybe I should do those videos. But yeah, generally it's good. It's competitive. But yeah, like I say, we all want the best for hashtag United. Okay, so Daniel Hennigan asks, what area of your game do you think personally you need to improve most? Quick answer to that, everything. I don't think there's one area of my game that I would realistically sit down here and go, I'm 100% satisfied with what I do. I think there's always room for improvement in everything that goes on, so I just try and work on everything and anything in order to make me a better goalkeeper. If I was going to narrow it down to one particular thing that I always need to work on and always need to keep up is footwork and quick feet. I find that if I don't do stuff with my feet, often, you know, ladder work, drill work, or incorporating those quick feet movement in and around the goals into training sessions, I get really heavy feet. If I don't move myself right and I don't get my heavy feet to be quicker, then I don't get into position early enough, technique breaks down, start making mistakes, So I always try and make sure that I do some sort of footwork, quick feet drills, and whenever I go to the gym on a weekly basis and bits, just to try and keep my feet moving as quickly as I can, which can still be quicker. So how did it feel to captain hashtag, and was I shocked when Spencer told me? Yeah, I genuinely was shocked actually, because we obviously went through the team beforehand. Fred Maston was starting left back, Spencer was on the bench, but yeah, it didn't click that actually who's going to be captain here. So when Spencer said, there you go, you're captain today, I was genuinely shocked and surprised, and really flattered actually. I mean, really quite honoured to be captain of hashtag. Didn't expect it in the slightest. So Spen, Seb, Manjdog, Rich Beck, Paul Nash been captain for me. So I make it 6th. That's vice captain. Yeah, 6th in line to the throne of the captaincy. Yeah, honoured, really. Didn't expect it at all. Quickfire question this really, isn't it? Messi or Ronaldo? I'm in the Messi camp. Don't get me wrong, Ronaldo, fantastic player. Would love to play with him, against him, pick the ball out of the net many times against him. But I'm more in the Messi. I just don't know. There's something about his persona, about his all-round game that really appeals to me compared to Ronaldo. So I'd take a Messi over a Ronaldo. So what's the hardest thing about having all your games on YouTube? The hardest thing, I think, generally, I mean the best thing, just to put the thing across, is that the best thing is having your games filmed, or having everything that you do filmed, because I've never been in a position where I've actually been able to film, see what I've done well, see what I haven't done well, what I need to work on, and I get that feedback loop. Normally you get a feeling what you've done, but you don't actually get that visual feedback in terms of this is what you did in this situation, which then had this output. So it's really useful to me to see what I did well, certain circumstances, and what I didn't do well. The hardest thing about having it on YouTube, I think it used to affect me when I first joined, is that I used to go through all the comments. I used to see what people thought. Of course there's lots of trolls, just generally social media in its entirety. YouTube comments can be quite vicious, and if people aren't there as well, I mean, Saunders does a fantastic job editing. I think he's one of the most talented guys on YouTube, but not necessarily all the edit has all of the things that you've been involved in, so it might only be one thing. And obviously as a goalkeeper, you're involved in either something that's very good or something that's not very good. So if you're involved in something that's not very good, you're going to get slated. It's just being prepared for that, I think, because there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there and you can take things personally. I still read the comments now. Do I take them on board? Sometimes. More interested in what peers think and what Coach Craig McCree thinks, actually. So yeah, get feedback from those guys rather than comments on YouTube. But yeah, they can be quite vicious sometimes. So a question from Oscar Taylor is, which manager would you most like to play under? So, I mean, current day managers, as mentioned previously with Man City, I love Pep Guardiola. Big fan of Pep Guardiola, so I'd love to play under him. Yes, he's had lots of money to spend. Yes, he's recruited some of the best players in the world in order to play under him. However, I really get the impression that it's a learning and development environment that he creates, and even the players that he's inherited get better. Look at someone like Raheem Sterling is having one of his most influential seasons since he's been at Man City under Pep Guardiola. He seems like really has come up, improved under Pep Guardiola. Flip side of that, I'd also like to play under Jose Mourinho. Slightly different in his outlook, I think. However, he's a born winner. He's got trophies in his cabinet, and I'd like to see what it's like under Jose Mourinho. If you go back a few years, Sir Alex Ferguson, who wouldn't want to play under him? Won everything and anything. Domination of Man United under Alex Ferguson. You've seen how much they've struggled without him, or since he decided to retire. About the same time, Bobby Robson. Yeah, would like to play under Bobby Robson, see what he's like. You don't hear a bad word about Bobby Robson from ex-players, do you? So there's got to be something there that I would love to have played under. You go back even further than that. Peter Taylor and Brian Clough. What was Brian Clough like as a manager? Very charismatic guy. Came across from all the bits that I've seen. Would love to have played under him to see what he was like. Yeah, so current day Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho. You go back little bit further, someone like Brian Clough would love to have played under those guys. Thank you so very much for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so very much for everyone who put in a question, who sent a question over Instagram or over Twitter. So many to get through. Hopefully you've liked the ones that I've chosen in order to answer. Thank you so very much for everyone who subscribed. This is amazing. Never would have thought I got to 10k, let alone just over 11,000. So if you have liked it, drop a like on the video. If you're new, click on that subscribe. More content coming soon, so stay tuned.